All right, welcome back to TheEndStep.com. We're here with Blue for M14.
Yep.
Let's start it off with a very good card for limited, Air Servant. We've seen this card before, and it does a lot of work. It's a big body. It's a fast clock, and I really like this guy limited.
Yeah. Based on the core set, it's like pretty slow limited format.
Yeah, it doesn't look like super fast.
And like something like Blue White Flyers is very good, very viable.
Yeah, classic core set deck.
Right, and like this guy is really good in it.
Like one of the best that you could have in that deck.
So like I would like really consider like getting this guy really early and just like trying to force the strategy. I'm happy with it.
Archaeomancer.
Seen it before.
Another reprint. We have Snapcaster Mage right now, so this guy's totally irrelevant.
Yeah.
Crabs.
Armored. I didn't even say that. Cancrix.
Cancrix, I think, yeah.
Sandcrix. The artwork is awesome. It's a really big crab covered in spikes that looks like a bug.
Yeah. Well, crustaceans are insect-like, anyways.
Yeah, like I don't even understand like where its claws are. Like
These are the claws.
I know, but like they're like broken. Like they're like going backwards.
Yeah, they curve back. Yeah. I don't know.
So instead of like actually grabbing things or pincering, it's just like
Stabbing.
it just like slaps you. I guess that's why it's a 2/5, right?
Yeah. So the creature's not very good. So focus on the artwork.
You'll be much happier.
Cancel. Counter target spell. Done.
Cancel that. Claustrophobia. Tap something, doesn't untap. Done.
Yeah, we've seen it before. Like it was fine in Innistrad, right?
Yes. It's like decent removal.
Yeah. Clone, currently in standard.
Fine.
Will be in standard again.
Angel's Trinity is not going anywhere. So like still being able to like clone an Angel's Trinity is going to be a thing, and like not a bad thing, I think.
No, definitely not. I just don't know if Angel's Trinity will see as much play.
I don't see why not.
Because it's a huge casting cost, and like it's better when you can cheat it in play. I mean, you can still play like the Mana Dark plan and like.
The format's still going to slow down too, so it's not like they're going to be that out of the ordinary. Anyway.
Speaking of slowing down, with some colossal whales. Yeah.
All I could think of is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
Where the whale just starts falling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like a 7 mana guy that like kills a guy every turn. I don't know.
Doesn't even kill a guy.
Yeah.
It exiles it, and then as soon as they easily remove your 5/5.
Fiend Hunter's a guy every turn.
As soon as they easily remove your 7 mana 5/5 with like no evasion properties whatsoever.
And his Island Walk.
Or not evasion, I mean like protection.
Oh, yeah.
Which they'll very easily do for 2 mana.
They could just bounce him and like.
Or just bounce them, then they just get all the stuff back. And then you're like casting this dude again, has no board impact.
Yeah, he's not great. I have played like some of these whale variants before in draft decks, but this one's not one of the best ones.
Such like huge Old Man in the Sea references, like.
Yeah. They like all these like classic like Moby Dick kind of characters.
Anyway, Coral Merfolk.
Coral Merfolk, it's a 2/1 for 2.
He's still corally.
He's a good reasonable creature you'll play in your draft deck.
Unfortunately.
He's almost a bear.
Almost. It just like sucks to be almost a bear.
Yeah. Dismiss into Dream, enchantment that makes all your guys very scared. So scared they sacrifice themselves when you target them.
Well, it's your opponent's dudes.
Yeah, your opponent's guys.
Right.
I think that the concept is kind of cool. Like we've seen this like illusionary thing plenty of times before, but not like.
Turn your opponent's things into illusions.
Right, like it's like a step 1 of a removal process.
Right, but I hate step 1s. Like, why can't we just like have the only step be kill it?
Yeah, 7 mana.
Just play removal spells. Like, and at 7 mana, hopefully, like you have an actual bomb, and this isn't your bomb.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it's good enough. I do like the artwork. It obviously works like super good with like tappers or any kind of like creatures that have like some kind of target thing, like we just like machine gun.
I actually like the whale better than this.
Okay. Moving on.
Disperse.
Disperse, fine card. It will see play in this draft format. It's a like really premium bounce spell,
Yeah, it's like pseudo removal.
but for standard, it's just like worse.
Cyclonic Rift.
Yes,
like
it's
you
worse
said.
than Cyclonic Rift. Like it's the exact same card as Cyclonic Rift, but Rift has this like awesome upside of like
Overload. Yeah,
Calling it
and you can gauge for yourself how much play Cyclonic Rift sees at the moment.
yeah, like it's a one of in some decks.
Yeah, some decks. Divination, fine. We might have to play it. Come Theros.
Yep. Good for you, Blue Mages. You get some divination.
I like the card actually. Like, I like the effect. It's really every time you cast a division, I feel like this feels like 95. This is classic. Like,
Yeah.
like old school Magic. Tap it out.
Tapping out sorcery speed, draw 2.
Yep.
Domestication, shifting to rare from common.
Some people were pretty unhappy about this because like this effect is like cool and all, but
Yeah, it's definitely cooler at uncommon because if you want a control magic effect at rare, you might as well have just printed control magic.
right. It's also like a really like poopy control magic because it doesn't even like take big things.
Yeah, it only takes small things, which then sometimes you can actually knock it off with like
An enchantment or
you play
something.
an enchantment or like the
Yeah.
the +2/+4 we saw earlier. So like you could like I don't know.
Not what you want to see in your rare slot when you open your pack.
No, not a good
Not
one.
not at all.
You probably play it in a blue deck because it's probably like decent.
Yeah, but like, what do you like? Some of the better targets like stealing a flyer, you know?
Right, that's what I could see. Like in the Flyers deck, it's actually decent there. Like you
Right.
can steal their only flying blocker. Like you can steal their best ground guy.
Right. It definitely could be like greater than 4.
Like you can steal a tapper. Like there's guys to take.
There's yeah.
But yeah, it's not. You're not like freaking out.
Right. Next up, we have Elite Arcanist.
So like guy that kind of is a nice Scepter,
Kind of.
like worse in every way possible.
4 mana 1/1 is so easy to kill.
Yep. It's like a really powerful effect if you can get it going.
Yes, if he was
You will
cheaper,
win the game if it gets going.
if he was cheaper, he might have had potential.
For like constructed.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's good enough for constructed.
Right. Well, I mean, there's just not super many instances like that you are on copying the limited format. Like you might have a trick,
Right.
which would be arguably
Yeah,
fine to
exactly.
copy, but then you're like also in blue, like you're playing blue cards, like so your tricks are probably gonna be pretty
Yeah, like
pretty
bounce.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just pretty much just bounce spells, which I guess like having a bounce spell in this guy isn't
Yeah, bounce
bad.
every turn is pretty good. Essence Scatter in standard right now.
It sees play in standard right now.
It does.
It's going to see a lot more play when Tyrant Source goes away.
Yeah, especially if they don't give you guys like a better counterspell. Like if there's no mana leak or
Yeah.
to command.
Um,
Like, you still have to play these like half and half counters with like negate, essence scatter.
Yeah,
Syncopate,
that's the problem with Essence Scatter. Like it's unfortunately like really narrow,
Yeah.
but it's extremely efficient.
Oh, it's awesome in those matchups where you want.
Where like it's most predominantly creatures. They pay 7 mana for their big dudes, and you just temple them out with a 2 mana.
Yeah.
2 mana spell. Next up, we have Frost Titan.
Yeah, Frost Titan on the artwork.
Yeah, getting a little weird.
It is bizarre that they wouldn't change the artwork for a creature that's not, hasn't been a standard for a little while.
But I do understand how he's like on the plane or whatever. Like he's in.
Yeah, I
In
mean,
this universe?
in his world, like it makes sense. Like he's the one doing it, and the effect is fine. Like it's not the best combat trick.
I've always liked this card. I've always wanted to like be really playable or really cool because I like the effect.
It's by far the best in like a tempo race kind of scenario where like you just tap down their blockers, you get in there,
Right.
they can't untap, you get in there again, and they're dead.
Right.
But if you need if you're behind, this doesn't do like enough. Like it'll buy you some time, but it still doesn't like solve the problem.
Yeah. It's usually what the effects like that like tend to have, except for like reusable tapping, like creatures that tap or something.
Right.
Anyway, next we have arguably the best sliver.
Yeah,
the set?
it's definitely one of the best, like cheapest that does a huge thing. Like flying is really good ability. It's a classic ability that we've seen for a million years, and it just continues to be good.
Yeah, the fact that you can give it to everybody for 1 mana is pretty big.
Yep.
Next up we have Glimpse of the Future. This card makes no sense to me. It's strictly, and by strictly I mean a lot, worse than Forbidden Alchemy
Yeah.
that we have now. That sees no play, and that's so much better than this card. Like,
Yeah, the instant speed
gross.
is like crucial for blue to like not tap out. Like this, like if you're playing this in divination, like you have all these sorcery things, you might as well just play divination
right.
because divination gets you 2 cards and you're tapping out, so you can't bluff anything.
This gives you a little bit more selection, but
Gives you a little bit more selection, but not like Forbidden Alchemy selection where you like get like much deeper.
right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's not.
This card
Not
stinks. It stinks.
It's no Ponder or Preordained, put it that
No.
way.
Next up, we have Illusionary Armor. And this card also stinks.
Yeah, 5 mana for an enchantment is a little frightening. That makes your guy worse and better at the same time. Yes, but
Well, I mean, all you have to do is sack the enchantment, so like it doesn't get your guy killed.
yeah, it does like protect kind of,
Yeah, kind
but
of.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not in love with this card.
But it is huge. Like +4/+4.
You might play it. I'm not.
You
not
might
saying it's
play
not-
it.
not
Like, it's definitely unplayable. Like you can fit it in like towards the end of your like deck building process, or it's like you need a couple more cards. You
Couple
can
slots.
play this, but like it's nothing crazy.
Okay.
Next up we have Jace. We've seen lots of Jace.
Yeah, sticking around.
He actually like really was really good for a little while,
Yeah, he was like the win condition on his sideboards. Like,
which is really like interesting that like a straight dedicated mill card is like, oh yeah, we can play this.
yeah,
So I expect lots of people to try it, to keep trying it.
yeah. I don't know if he's like gonna be as good in this new standard format, especially like right out of the gate.
Yeah, people are gonna try it though. So
Yeah.
anyway,
So speaking of Jace,
he has a Mindseeker.
he does. It's not good.
It is a fish illusion, and that's where it gets all the points with me.
You're a big fan of fishes and their illusions.
Just never seen one.
It is different. It's definitely different. I don't know why a fish is relevant for Jace.
I know, like
Why does he?
this like mind controlling, most powerful, like arguably the most powerful wizard currently. You know, not excluding older figures in
Right.
Magic. He's like, all right, how am I gonna like throw this guy off my trail? Like, what am I gonna do? Giant fish illusion. Perfect.
Done.
Right, ready for the situation. Like that's exactly what I mean.
Yeah, it's a little weird. A little weird.
Like you'd think someone as smart as Jace could come up with something a little bit like cooler.
More intimidating than an eel.
I know, like why not like a giant like dragon or something? You know, like
Yeah, maybe he's not good enough for dragons.
he's like fish illusion go.
Yeah. So the card itself is basically an air elemental with like this bonus thing where you get to possibly take a spell to play that turn.
Right.
Um,
Most of the time in like limited format, which is like only where this guy's gonna potentially be
yeah,
played.
he's not good enough for standard.
It's gonna mostly just be combat tricks, which is like it's okay.
Yeah, and it's definitely not a guaranteed hit. Like limited decks are mainly creature based with some spells.
Right.
So
right.
he could whiff a lot of the times.
Yeah.
So you're playing him because he's a 4/4 flyer mainly, but like you'll get a cool bonus thing every now and then.
Jace must have a big aquarium.
It's possibly an illusionary aquarium, so it doesn't have to be that big. Everything just scales down.
It's like just like a fake aquarium, you can walk through it. Next up, we have Merfolk Spy.
I don't like it.
He's so boring, and he's like honestly like
It's
pretty bad.
So wimpy. The effect is like kind of relevant, but yeah, just bad. I could see it like maybe you bring it in like for your draft deck sideboard if they have like islands and you have a bunch of enchantments. Maybe you make this like
Yeah.
Clid Clock with
That's
the
true.
Island Walk. But yeah,
Put that like 4/4 enchantments on it.
yeah, he just gets outclassed like super fast.
Yep. Next up, we have Messenger Drake.
I like this guy a lot. He fits totally in the blue-white flyers deck.
Yep. He's like really big.
Reasonable 3/3. I mean, you do get to cantrip if they do kill him.
Well, the thing is, like, since he's so big, like, he's kind of like they have to kill him. You know, they've got to deal with it
Eventually,
somehow.
they're going to have to. Yeah.
So like, you have the inevitability of more than likely drawing a card, and as soon as that happens, like, you got value, and you're gonna be happy about it.
Yep. Negate.
Negate's a fine counterspell. It's okay. It's extremely, in terms of standard, it's very meta dependent. Like you'll tag a couple.
Yeah, 100% sideboard.
Yeah, it's only a sideboard card, and it's pretty much unplayable in limited formats.
Yeah, it's straight up awful unlimited.
Unless like you have like a blue deck and they have like super crazy bomb like non-creature spell.
Yeah, if they have like game one you saw like planeswalkers or something.
Yeah, or
Like,
dismiss into bounty or
Okay.
not bounty, but dismiss into reality or whatever that card was.
yeah, so you bring in some negates at that point, but
I wish you probably only have one.
yeah.
If I see kite,
Again, another one for this Flyers deck. This Flyers deck.
there's
is,
a
like,
lot of really
sick.
good stuff.
Sick. So like instant speed, flash, flyer, awesome. Most of the time you get to eat a guy.
Yep.
Even as a 2/3 flyer, still reasonable.
Yeah, good tempo swing, just like end of turn, like play by sea kite, and then
Yep.
start going on the beats.
So very good. Awesome at common too. Like really solid.
Yep. So we have opportunity. I really want to play this card, but like, if I'm playing a control deck, like it's hard pressed to find myself not playing white, and if I can play a white, then I'm playing Sphinx's Revelation.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
If something like Grixis does come out of nowhere, like you said, I could see something like this being a one of in a Grixis
This will
deck.
be a card if non-white control decks exist, which they kind of don't. I mean, like Patrick Chapin's obviously jamming some Grixis control, but like that Patrick Chapin, so he basically can do what he wants.
Right. He doesn't care.
So this like is a great fit for that deck because it gives you this like huge like refill spell, which Grixis doesn't have access to.
Right. I do hate the artwork.
I don't hate it; it's just not memorable.
I think it's so wicked boring. Like the first time I saw this, like I thought it was like fake artwork.
Okay.
Next up, Phantom Warrior. I forgot where we saw this guy last time. Was it just last Grisette?
He's been printed a lot. I can't remember the exact last printing, but he's
Yeah.
been printed quite a few times. He's reasonable. 2/2 can't be blocked now. He's no longer unblockable
Yep.
since they got rid of that. But still very solid. Is a good efficient clock.
Mm-hmm.
Basically they had to deal with him eventually, or they did.
We'll see no constructed play.
Totally.
Next up, we have Quicken. Actually, a lot of people really like this card. Like it's as in like an oldie. Like people are like, oh sweet, like make my Cruel Ultimatum instant.
Yeah, but isn't that like, I don't know. I don't know,
Yeah.
it doesn't do enough for me. Like
It doesn't.
If you're like turning a sorcery to an instant, and you need that effect, like, does that mean you're playing like bad sorceries, or you're just playing a bad deck?
Yeah, I mean this is a rare. You would never take this over like a strong creature in a limited format.
Yeah, not even close. So
And-
this is again another like last pick.
And if your sorceries are something, well, I mean your sorceries could be like really powerful, and you're just trying to like make them a little bit more better.
I mean, it's
But-
cantrip, but like so that makes it like somewhat playable.
Yeah, I just say how like you have to like set up these scenarios where I can't cast this unless I have my Quicken, to make it like even, like slightly better. And if sorceries are that powerful enough that if they were instant speed they'd be like broken or too good, then like what's wrong with just casting them on your turn?
Yeah,
Like if they're that good, then just cast them on your
that'd
turn.
be good enough. So,
Yep.
Scroll Thief, solid creature, obviously excellent when you can get it through, which isn't that
Often.
often because he gets outclassed.
It is 1/3. Like at three mana, people usually play things that are comparable or bigger.
Yeah, I mean, even a grizzly bear gets in his way at that point.
Yeah, which is not very
Right.
common.
It's a decent card to put the 4/4 enchantment on, because then it becomes like this huge guy that.
I mean, like most like little guys are good enough to put the 4/4 enchantment on.
Yeah.
Enchantments in general are decent on little guys because you really don't care if they like wisdom removal spell on a little guy.
So,
Yep. Next up, Seacoast Drake. It's exactly like the White Flyer, except it doesn't have vigilance.
yeah, so it's just straight up worse, and it's one of the worst flyers. This is, like, I'll play it if I have to, but, that I played the Sea Kite over this, the other, Drakes and stuff are better.
Yep. The picture's like pretty like cool. Like the monster itself looks kind of like weird, but the background is much better. The background's awesome.
I think he looks like a Drake. He fits the Drake.
No, I agree. It's just
Okay.
I don't know. Like his legs look kind of funny. Like his body's like somewhat like twisted, like while he's
I
flying.
can agree with you there.
It's like I'm assuming that's what they wanted to convey.
It looks like he's like maybe too flexible or something. Like he's like.
Yeah, I like it. I like him a little more stiff.
Next up, Sensory Deprivation, currently in standard.
This is creepy artwork.
Yeah, talk about just like shifting tone. It's a card that sees like 0 play right now. so it will probably see 0 play again.
I guess that's fine unlimited, but I'd rather just have a creature.
Right. Spell Blast.
Next up, not syncopate.
Yeah,
Blast.
you're the control blue player. You can talk about this one.
Yeah, I mean, syncopate is so much better. It's always going to be cheaper to syncopate, and dispel is going to be legal. So if they tap it for like a big spell, like opportunity, for example, and you tap it one more, and then they just dispel you.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's a big blowout. The fact is that it can counter any spell, but like so can syncopate. So
yeah, so can syncopate. So can dissipate. So can cancel. Like cancel's better than this. That's.
I agree.
It's pretty bad when cancel is better.
Yep, that's extremely bad because cancel is awful.
So Tidebinder Mage.
Second of the hate cycle.
Yeah, this guy is sweet.
It's another Merfolk, so like it's another little piece for the Legacy Merfolk deck. It does deal with the problematic cards for Legacy Merfolk, like whenever Tarmogoyf is really popular, and he's pretty much always really popular. In a non-blue deck, it's really bad for Merfolk. Grim Lavrance is really bad for Merfolk, and this guy deals with all of those, but decks typically playing those cards are also playing something like Lightning Bolt, which is the worst card for Merfolk.
Yeah, even swords, answers this guy fine.
Yeah, they don't really care because they're just, kill it. One thing though is like if they spend their removal on that, then like your Lord of Atlantises and stuff get to live a little bit longer. And I mean, most Merfolk decks do play Kira anyway,
Yes.
so they're a little more apt at fighting removal. But
Yeah, I don't think he's good enough to be in the main deck Legacy.
No.
But I think he could fit in the sideboard.
he could. The sideboard's like pretty open considering it's like a monocolor deck.
Mhm.
So
I do think this card could be good enough for standard. I'm not sure where he fits, but like if you think of the green and red creatures that he matches up against, like Thragtusk and Olivia's not a great example because you can still use her abilities.
yeah, I don't know.
There's plenty of like good creatures like Thunder Hellkite.
I think the double blue is asking too much.
Double Blue is tough. It's definitely tough.
Well, I mean, like, Hellkite's not even that great of a target because, like, he's still gonna hit you.
I mean, yeah. Unless you're also playing like the Imposing Sovereign, so like comes into play tapped, and then you super tap him when you untap.
You're reaching.
Yeah, I'm reaching, but living the dream. Next up, Time Ebb. So super old card, reprinted.
I like this card unlimited.
Yep, it's
Pretty much just that.
it's excellent and limited. It's awesome to like mess with your opponent's draw step. But it's just like straight up worse than Azorius Charm.
Yeah,
Azorius Charm's like a million times better than this.
It will see 0 play in standard. I do like the guy's name in the flavor text though. Shai Fusan, or Fusan.
Sure. Tome Scour.
Dome Scour.
It's a mill card for 1 mana.
It's definitely one of the better mill cards.
It is.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say about
we will have a format for a little while where it's like Tome Scour and Thought Scour, which would be cool. Next up, Trained Condor.
This guy's awesome.
Yes, another like awesome flyer for the Blue White Flyers deck. Well, actually, not really, because like his ability is not as relevant because
But
you
all
guys
of a
already
sudden,
fly.
like, Scroll Thief looks awesome.
Yes.
Scroll Thief's in the deck with some
Yes.
Trained Condors. Boom, bounce your, jump your Scroll Thief, draw some cards. Like, this guy does a lot of work in that, like, blue base
I agree.
tempo deck. I actually really like the artwork. One of my favorites. Like, I love all the colors.
He's
the
cool.
Condor itself is pretty creepy looking.
I like how he's got a saddle, but like no one's on the saddle.
Yeah, well, he's ready for you.
It
You can
just-
jump on.
Yeah, he's just saying that he's trained.
That's like that's the whole concept with the jump thing. Like he's
Right,
like,
you're
yeah,
right.
jump on, and now you also have flying.
A Merfolk on a Trained Condor. That's horrifying.
Sounds like a plan. Traumatized if you really want to mill somebody.
Yes, but it doesn't even like mill them out. So
It just takes a chunk.
yep. Wall of Frost if you really want to frost someone.
Yeah. If, like I was saying before with that like whole Wall of Swords argument, the Wall of Frost is the same argument.
Yes.
So if you need that effect, it's good.
Yep. Warden of Evil's Isle.
Another awesome card for the Flyers deck. Like there's almost like too many good Flyers at this point.
Yeah, you get to pick
You
and
know?
choose.
So this guy's one of the better ones. He's a 3-mana 2/2 flyer, which is reasonable. We've seen that and played that plenty of times before. But like the fact that he cheapens all your other guys is pretty good.
It is.
You can't ignore any kind of cheapen effect. They're generally really powerful.
Yep. I do like how it's a Warden of Evil style, so the card gets back to the ring cycle from the last core set.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how they like tie little things like that together. Next up, Water Servant. I like this guy.
Water Servant
For
works.
limited.
Now, picture this. Water Servant riding a trained Condor.
That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't make any sense, but it works. And it will smash face.
Wind Rider Sphinx.
Water Servant's good.
Yeah, and limited.
Wind Reader Sphinx.
Oh, Wind Reader, right. I hate this card. I don't understand
Yeah,
Sphinxes.
So James has an argument about Sphinx.
It's a 7-mana creature. It's a 7-mana creature, and it's a Sphinx. Like, if you've ever seen Sphinxes like next to humans or whatever in both like mythological pictures or Magic the Gathering cards, they're enormous. They're like really, really big. I mean, they can be small ones, but they're really, really large. And something that's like half lion or whatever like a Sphinx is has like giant claws. Like it can like easily kill you, but it's got 3 power. Like it's like this giant mythological beast with wings and horns that like can easily just like end your life in an instant, and it's got 3 power. For 7 mana.
Do you think that's something from like almost the blue like side of Magic? How like most blue creatures are a little wimpier on the power.
Kind of, but like when I think of a Sphinx, I think of like a much closer power and toughness, if not a higher power than toughness. Like they don't strike off as like super defensive creatures to me. It's not like they're wearing armor or they're plated or anything, or they have like thick hides or something. I mean, they might have thick hides, but like it doesn't come as a 3/7 creature.
Yeah.
It comes off as like a 6/4, like consecrated Sphinx.
Sphinxes like mythologically also have they're really intelligent, so they'll like mess you up with riddles or like thought processes and like they're not just not like an aggressive creature.
But like it's an innate thing, like Sphinxes almost feel like in that regard, yes, they're blue by far, but they feel almost just as much green too, because like green creatures are just like big hulking monstrosities. But like a Sphinx is also a big hulking monstrosity, so how come it has less power than like a 3-mana green guy?
Yeah, I mean, even if you want to go the argument like it's a 7-mana mythic, that's a 3/7.
Yeah, that's like, also like awful.
Okay.
Yeah, like
I can just play some Critter Hooves again.
You're playing this just for the fact that whatever creature with flying attacks, you may draw a card, but
which is gross. And like, this is like I would play this in my like the Flyers deck just because it's gross. Like if I ever get to live the dream of like play this guy attack
with like 4 of your dudes and draw like 4 cards or something.
It'd be sick.
Yeah, it's a pretty late game situation, but yeah.
It is 7 mana. It's not even close to being good enough for standard.
No, it's probably good in some EDH deck somewhere. I guarantee you. Like,
it's
someone's
probably
like, oh, I'll play this and like swing with all my like
broken tokens and stuff. Yeah, draw 30 cards.
Yeah, I hate that it's a 3/7. Makes no sense.
James' rant of the day. So last card for blue.
Zephyr Charge. An enchantment that gives your creatures flying for 2. Just play a creature with flying. There's
there's
tons.
an inherent problem I have with an enchantment that does nothing besides granting the ability that is inherent in that color. Blue already has 1 million creatures with flying.
Well, it's to like bring the ability to other colors that might not have it.
But you still have to play blue because this is a blue enchantment, which requires blue to use.
Right. I don't know. It's a card that doesn't do anything by itself, and it like sometimes maybe gives you an upside to your other creatures. Just play creatures with upsides.
How about a blue enchantment that gives trample? Like, okay, now I can get behind that because it's weird and it doesn't make sense of like shifting a different color's ability to your color. That makes it more playable to me. But not like it's the same effect if you gave like an enchantment that gave vigilance for the same mana cost. Like it would be unplayable there too.
Hey, Sun Tzu's on the flavor text.
Okay, that's the best part about the stupid card.
Yep. All right, that's blue.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. I hate Sphinxes.